As an avid hockey fan, one of my favorite times of the NHL year is right around the trade deadline, which this year comes on April 12th because of the season starting so late. Last year there were quite a few big deals made before and right up to the deadline, and some very good players and big names were traded throughout the season. Some of these guys included Robin Lehner, Eric Gustafsson, Nick Ritchie, Andreas Athanasiou, Vincent Trocheck, JG Pageau, Alec Martinez, all close to the deadline, and Tyler Toffoli, Blake Coleman, Jason Zucker were all traded a week or two before the deadline. And of course, Taylor Hall, who was traded to Arizona a few months before. Now obviously we've already had a blockbuster trade earlier in the year when Pierre-Luc Dubois and a third was dealt to Winnipeg for Patrick Laine and Jack Roslovic, but I think there will be many more trades to talk about and break down as we get closer to the deadline and teams look to improve in any way they can. That is why in today's video I will be breaking down and discussing 7 players that I feel are very likely to be traded at or before this year's trade deadline. And if you want to stick around for breakdowns and discussions on all these major trades as they happen this season, as well as seeing some other awesome hockey videos, I would highly suggest hitting that subscribe button and slapping a like on this video. And before I start, I want to mention that these players are in no particular order. Number 1, Taylor Hall. Hall signed a 1-year contract this offseason with Buffalo, and it's safe to say things have not worked out the way he and the Sabres had hoped. I think it would make a lot of sense to ship out Taylor Hall if Buffalo is not able to sign him to an extension, seeing as he will become a UFA again this offseason. Hall is having another down year on this offensively challenged Sabres team, and the former league MVP should embrace an opportunity to play on another team. There have been rumors about a potential trade to Boston, which would certainly add to that contending team. Another team I could potentially see him traded to would be the Avalanche, who apparently were one of the squads interested in Hall during the offseason. The Avs certainly have the assets to make it happen, and Hall would make one of the deepest teams in the league even scarier. Number 2, Matthias Eckelm. Eckelm is the first Nashville Predator on this list, and he won't be the last. The more games they lose this season, the more likely the team is to be sellers at the deadline this year. And it looks like the cup window for Nashville has passed. And the organization and GM David Poile has said that there are only 3 untouchables on the team: Roman Josi, Ryan Ellis, and Pekka Rinne. This leaves Ekholm very much available. And with one more year after this on a very nice $3.75 million per year cap hit, there will certainly be many teams interested in this big two-way defenseman who's still just 30 years old. According to hockey insider Pierre LeBrun, so far the Boston Bruins, Winnipeg Jets, Washington Capitals, and Philadelphia Flyers are all interested in Ekholm. Personally, I would love to see him get traded to Winnipeg. He's exactly the type of player that can put this team over the edge and make them true cup contenders. Number 3, Ricard Raquel. Raquel is another very attractive trade target and is currently on a struggling Anaheim Ducks team that is trying to rebuild and rejuvenate their roster. He's a guy whose contract runs through the 21-22 season and is also on a very reasonable cap hit of just under $3.8 million. Several teams have expressed interest in the 27-year-old winger, who is a 2-time 30-goal scorer and one of the Ducks' best offensive weapons. Teams that are interested include the Boston Bruins, Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Toronto Maple Leafs. The Ducks could certainly get back a decent package for Raquel, and I would love to see him on a contending team like Toronto. Number 4, Bobby Ryan. Ryan signed a 1-year, $1 million contract with the Red Wings during the offseason and has been a big part of the offense for Detroit so far this season. Although this has been the case, the Wings are another team that is nowhere near the playoffs and one that is deep in a rebuild. It would certainly be in the team's best interest to ship Ryan off and get a draft pick or prospect to keep building for the future. The Toronto Maple Leafs are one team that has shown interest, but with this cap hit being just $1 million, I could definitely see a bunch of teams who wouldn't mind adding him as a depth piece to gear up for a playoff run. Number 5, Erik Halla. Halla, the second Nashville player on this list, is another guy who signed a one-year deal in the offseason at just a $1.75 million cap hit. He's a player that has bounced around quite a bit over the last few seasons, spending time in Nashville, Florida, Carolina, and of course Vegas. Halla had a breakout season in the Golden Knights' inaugural season, where he scored 29 goals and 55 points. But he's really more of a 35 to 40 point guy in an average season. It appears that he will likely be traded by the deadline, and he could be in high demand, as he is a capable second or third line center who has been well over 50% in the faceoff dot in each of the last 4 seasons, and could provide excellent depth to a contending team. 10 to 12 teams expressed interest in him during the offseason, so I think the Preds could definitely get a draft pick or two out of Halla. Number 6, Jonathan Bernier. Bernier is another player in the final year of his contract, with a cap hit of $3 million per year. The veteran Red Wings goaltender has been backing up Thomas Greiss this season and will likely be used as a trade piece to help Detroit get more assets for the future. Bernier has been a solid backup goaltender in this league for 13 years and has a career save percentage of .912. His services would certainly benefit a team like the St. Louis Blues, who could use a veteran to help out, or potentially Toronto, if Jack Campbell isn't back from injury in time. Number 7, Mikhail Granland. Granland is the third and final Nashville player in this video, and is a guy who was just traded during the 18-19 season. At that time of the trade, which sent Granland to Nashville and Kevin Fiala to Minnesota, many people thought it was a clear win for Nashville. However, since then, Granland's production has gone way down from the years where he put up 69 and 67 points in consecutive years with the Wild. Fiala, on the other hand, is much younger and had a breakout season last year with 54 points in 64 games. Either way, Granland's contract expires after this season and he is set to become a UFA. He makes a pretty reasonable $3.75 million per year and would be a great forward to add for any team's playoff push. Toronto and the New York Islanders are two teams that have been linked, but there should certainly be more squads interested as the deadline nears closer. Let me know in the comments which of these players is most likely to be traded and where you think they might land. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more great content, and we'll see you in the next one.